there's a lot of small causes for this Gen Z problem. And one of them is probably social media, and partially for the reasons that you and I just discussed, where everybody looks like they're leading this better life than you are, and they're better in everything. I think that's important. I think that it's replacing social time rather than augmenting it. And so if you look, for example, I became interested in what I'm calling SMILSHing, which I know is an absurd acronym, but it stands for Social Media Induced Laziness in Our Social Habits, SMILSH. And if you look at the advent of social media, you can see that initially it caused people, it made it easier for young people to get together. So they'd schedule parties and everybody quickly knew about it and they would all go. And the marker for that was, what I was looking at was the General Social Survey, which is a representative sample of all Americans. And I just looked at whether young single adults had had sex in the last year. And with the advent of social media, the rate of young people having sex increased in the first sort of decade of it. And as a consequence, the rate of porn consumption went down. But then in this sort of second wave of social media, when now it's everywhere, and it starts to be fun enough that it can actually replace our socializing in person. And so let's say you're having a party tonight, and I got to catch 2 trains or buses to get across town. I'm like, do I want to go to Brian's party, or do I want to just scroll on Instagram or whatever my favorite outlet is and kind of see my friends that way? Well, if I'm not sure who's going to be at your party, and it's a bit of a pain to get to it, I'm going to just stay on the couch. I'm not going to go. Now, the problem is that that could have been a good call. If I went to your party, I might not have known anyone, and I might not have had fun. But if I went to your party, I might have met people that I didn't know, and it could have been super exciting, because that's when some of our best times come from, right? And so when we look at the second wave of social media, we actually see that the rate of young single adults, 18 to 25, having sex has actually gone down lower than it used to be before. And so, for example, in the first wave of social media, only about a little less than 10% of young single adults had not had sex in the past year. That number nearly doubled in the second wave of social media, and porn consumption subsequently went up.